Welcome to Talking Tech, our new web series where we talk with Hillsborough teachers and today a principal about their experiences with virtual teaching and learning. And for today, we're going to learn how to keep a school running by maintaining a sense of normalcy for teachers, students, and parents. I am Todd McDonald, the Technology Integration Coordinator.
And I'm Mary Ellen Wilson, Technology Coach at Hillsborough Middle School and Auten Road. And today we are talking tech with Dr. T. So first, a brief introduction. Dr. T, can you just tell us who you are and what your role is in Hillsborough?
Hi, Marilyn. Yeah, thanks. So my name is Joe Trabolski, and I'm the principal over at Hillsborough Middle School.
Great, thank you. And Joe, as a teacher in your school, I can tell you that it is so important to continue to feel a sense of connection with that school community, even though we're working and learning from home. So can you just talk about some of the successful ways that you've been able to achieve that sense of community and the sense of normalcy for those of us in your school?
I'll say I appreciate that you've already characterized as successful. I think one of the hardest things right now is to know what is success when we're separated from each other. And that's been the hardest challenge. And that's probably what I think all teachers are feeling as well, because you don't have a lot of feedback. So what I started off doing was trying to present some video messages out to my staff, because I thought that it was helpful, particularly when we first launched, that people are connecting with a face and they get to hear and see you. But then I realized that was a one way and I needed feedback. And so that led me to test the Google Meet and to want to model for teachers how I was using that and try to understand what they were dealing with if they were to use it with their classes. So we did a Google Meet with 130 staff members, and it went well. I think that I discovered right away that it was handy for Google to switch that so that everybody came in muted with microphones. But trying to monitor chats, and I recognize that was difficult for teachers too, to follow the chat feature as well as lead a response and have interactive meetings. So one of the things I learned very quickly was to try to get some questions in advance, get some frequently asked questions going, have a list of that ready to sort of start the conversation or fill the conversation, and then kind of monitor periodically how things were going as people posted their questions. And I found that to be useful, with department meetings, although in smaller group settings, as teachers probably found, it's easier to have a conversation than it is in a large group. But it works if you have some questions to start off with. So providing, I think, some video, but having interactive conversations was really essential.
Yes, I definitely agree with that. It was really nice to have a faculty meeting virtually, and maybe it was one of the most well-attended faculty meetings because you had over 130 people that attended. So it was definitely nice to hear from you, see you, and then also see some of our colleagues, my colleagues that I'm, missing as we're disconnected. So I know you've also been doing a lot of outreach toward the students and the parents through social media channels. So can you talk a little bit about how you've been successful with connecting with the families of Hillsborough Middle School?
Right. So that was, I thought, one of the most important things that I could be doing, in addition to keeping communication with staff, was to try to be the face for the whole school and make sure that all kids and families felt that we're all still here and we're still, still a school community. And so I've tried to create little video clips to put out to families. So when I send out a message, an email with information, I always try to include a 30-second or a piece of it that was video, and then reference the other part that might be written. But I thought it was important for them to see me and to get that sort of feedback. And I try to keep those short because they're difficult to make. And they're also, I think, no one wants to watch a long video. And in order to post to social media, I recognize things like Instagram kind of keep you to that 60-second clip. And so if I could keep it to 1 minute or under, all the better. And so I would try to create little video messages to go out along with the physical emails. And I mentioned Instagram, and the middle school has also a Facebook page. I know some schools are using Twitter. So I think any one of those three things, one of the things I sent out to the community via email was to alert parents and students that if you haven't already connected with us social media, that here are the links. And that in these times, that's going to be an important conduit for us to be able to communicate and stay in touch beyond just emails, which I think can become overwhelming at times. So I've tried to use all of those. And the most recent one was we did a change to our attendance procedures. So I sent out an email to everybody the traditional way, but then I wanted to try to get some buzz going among the kids as well. So I created a short video clip that I put out on Instagram and also onto our Facebook. And then I also included in an email to the kids. But putting it out on social media got a lot of good feedback from parents and students that they kind of just spread the message around. And I think it helps them also have a sense of we are still a school community, even though we're not seeing each other regularly.
Yeah, I would agree. Do you mind showing us the HMS Facebook page just so that we can see the videos? Won't play with sound, but if you don't mind, would you be able to show us our Hillsborough Middle School Facebook page just so we can see what the videos look like?
Sure. Let me see if I can do that now. If I hit present. So can you see that now? So this is, let me scroll down a little bit here. So here's, are you seeing that okay?
Yep, we can see that just fine.
Okay, so this was a short 30-second video clip of myself at the table pointing out to students how you're going to go to Genesis to log on in the morning and reminding them to be prepared to start the school day and how they would log their attendance now, because that was a new procedure we added. The other thing I did, and this was a really interesting experiment, was to go live on Facebook. So I sent out a message last week that I would be available to chat with families around 7 o'clock. Prior to that, I had actually sent out a survey to all kids about how things were going in each of their subject areas, and they could score, you know, on a scale of 1 to 5, how's everything going? But I also gave them some open-ended questions just to tell me what kinds of questions they have about distance learning. And so I took some of those, kind of created a set of questions that I knew I could respond to. And then I went live on Facebook, and there were a lot of parents that tuned in and kids as well who seemed very, responded very positively. So you got about 2,500 people reached, 106 people responded with likes and so forth. And throughout the session, people were commenting or asking additional questions or follow-ups to things that I was talking about. How long do I think this will go? How are we going to deal with testing? What's going to happen with our concerts? Just sort of all the questions that people had on their minds early on in this process. And I think it was really helpful for the families, again, to just see a face and be able to have direct contact with the school principal about what their challenges are and what questions they have. And I think that was another way of us just trying to stay in touch with one another. So that was used. And then the Facebook allowed me to go a little longer online, whereas Instagrams are really short. So I have to keep, a really tight message to, but I think that's useful to keep your messages tight and to the point.
So this is all great stuff. Thank you so much. I know that next you plan on doing some TikTok dances. Would you also be able to share some other, what else is next for you, Dr. T? What else do you think that you need to do or maintain, or what else do you want to try? Give us a sense of what you're thinking about your next steps might be. Besides TikTok, that's a given. So besides TikTok, what else do you plan to do?
That's a great question. I don't know. Right now, I'm just trying to continue with the social media formats that we've got to try to keep communication. One of the things we did talk about a little bit was how to bring students into this. So I was talking with some of our instrumental music teachers about, is there a way that maybe they could record some of their students performing, that we might be able to share out some performance music currently. Or there was a suggestion with our student council that they might want to put together a video message where they might have a conversation with me, and then they could put out a video message to the school community. So trying to find a way to get some of our extracurricular club groups to be able to push out to the school, and again, remind them that we're still all in this as a community. It's not just me they're hearing from, but they're also hearing from their peers on a school-wide basis, as they probably would if we were in school in session. They would have those things to be bringing them together. I feel bad that, things like sports and other kinds of activities that the school rallies around are missing. And that's a piece that trying to fill in. So trying to bring students into this, I think, is the next thing.
That sounds great. Well, Dr. T, thank you so much for your time today. We thank you for talking tech with us.
Thanks, Todd. It's been great. Thank you too, Mariel. Thank you so much for all you guys have done. It's been absolutely phenomenal support for
You're welcome.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks.